Hey guys, Master Studios here, how y'all doing? So I'm sure as you guys know, when it comes to any TV show, the season finale is often a very big and important part of the season. Mainly because when it comes to this episode, it ties in a whole bunch of stuff from the previous episodes, maybe some stuff from a previous season, and it ties up some loose ends, maybe introduces something for the next season, and it's just overall this really big and massive event. And with Ninjago having many seasons, it makes sense that there would be a lot of season finales. And when it comes to the season finales, for the most part, I think they're honestly pretty good and well done overall when it comes to the seasons that we actually get when it came to the finales. But then there's also a couple season finales which I feel are just really not that good overall. And if I had to pick one season finale that I consider to be the worst in the show, that easily has to go to season 8 and the episode Big Trouble in Little Ninjago. I think that this is the worst season finale in the entirety of the show. There are so many issues that I have when it comes to this episode. So let's get into the whole thing. I'm going to be going over the plot of the episode, and then I'm going to be going over some specific things that I had when it comes to the issues with the episodes. Let's do this. So the episode starts off a little bit after the episode True Potential, with Garmadon and his forces getting ready to take over Ninjago, and Garmadon, he ends up creating the Oni Titan in order to try and take over Ninjago. Meanwhile, when it comes to the ninja, they aren't necessarily sure about what to do when it comes to Lloyd, but with some help from Baby Wu, they eventually go to Misake's tea shop, and Misake reveals that she can actually help Lloyd, but the ninja will need to use some of their elemental powers in order to help bring Lloyd back. And here's the first issue that I have when it comes to the episode. This episode retcons the ninja's powers again for no reason, and I honestly think that this is just the worst retcon we've ever gotten when it comes to ninja's powers. For those of you who are a bit more confused when it comes to this, during the earlier days of the show, the ninja's powers were retconned a bit when it came to the show. Like, in Season 1, it was said that by the ninja unlocking their true potential, they would be able to gain access to their elemental powers. But then during Season 2, it said that when it came to the ninja, they needed the gold of the golden weapons in order to access their powers. But then Season 3 said that the ninja's powers didn't come from the golden weapons, rather it came from themselves. Then Season 4 happened, and apparently the ninja actually got their elemental powers from their parents and their grandparents, and just who they came from, since they were descendants of elemental masters. But then during Season 5, it was said that when it came to the original 4 ninja, their powers were directly connected to Lloyd, and if something were ever to happen to him or his powers, then the rest of the ninja's powers would be out of commission, and Nia's powers were not affected by that. And this is actually a pretty big plot point of Season 5, with the ninja not having access to their powers, with again, Nia being the only exception. But when it comes to this episode, the ninja, they use some of their elemental energy, and for some reason, Nia's also getting involved with this, even though her powers don't have any connection to Lloyd. And despite the fact that Lloyd doesn't have access to his powers for the remainder of the episode, and for a majority of Season 9, the ninja can use their powers just fine. And again, like I said, this I feel is the worst retcon we have when it comes to the ninja's powers. Because again, it was a very big plot point during Season 5 that the ninja didn't have their powers. And this episode basically just completely ignores that fact and just says that the ninja can use their powers for some reason. Even though, they shouldn't have access to their powers anymore, considering the fact that, Lloyd's powers aren't working. So again, shouldn't the ninja's powers also not be working? And again, why is Nia getting involved in this? Since her powers, they aren't connected to Lloyd's in any way. Like, this just made no sense. Getting back to the plot, the ninja then learn about the Oni Titan and how it's rampaging through Ninjago City. So the ninja go out in order to try and fight against it, but before they eventually end up leaving, Misake gives Jay a bag, telling him to open it when it's, quote, time to go. And this is another issue that I have when it comes to the episode. Honestly, I'm not a fan of Misake. I just didn't like her all that much when it came to Season 9 and for her appearances during Season 8. And this part right here is a pretty big reason as to why. I think Misake is the worst mentor in the show because she's so vague about everything. And again, this moment right here is a prime example of that. When it comes to the bag, it contains Traveler's Tea. Misake doesn't tell the ninja about the Traveler's Tea or what's in the bag. She just gives them the bag, again, doesn't say what it is, and gives the vaguest possible time as to when to use it. Just saying to use it when it's, again, quote, time to go. Which could be interpreted to mean literally any time at all. Heck, it could even mean this very time right here, since the ninja are going to defeat the Oni Titan. Seriously. just with this super vagueness, it doesn't make any sense. Like, what Misaki should have done is just tell the ninja about the Traveler's Tea and when to use it. Like, in case things get bad, use it so that way they can get to safety. Since, again, that would just be something smart to do considering the ninja are going up against the Oni Titan. So when it comes to Ninja, they go and try to fight against the Oni Titan, and they aren't that successful against it, but they keep on trying. Lloyd eventually wakes up, but he isn't able to access his power. And then Garmadon shows up in order to try and get Baby Wu. And so Lloyd and Baby Wu escape, while Nia and Misako fight off Garmadon. And here's another issue that I have when it comes to the episode. Why is Garmadon so weak during this episode? Like, during the previous episode, True Potential, and all throughout seasons 9 and 10, Garmadon is shown to be really, really strong and powerful. And again, when it came to the last episode, when he was fighting against Lloyd and had virtually no issues with it at all, Garmadon was using literally all of his strength, and this was practically nothing to him. Yet when it comes to this episode, for some reason, Nia and Misako pose a challenge to him that doesn't make any sense. And you could say the reason is because, Garmadon's also controlling the Oni Titan, so he's not as strong. But then during Season 9, Garmadon is in control of the Oni Titan, and he's just as strong as he was. Seriously, this doesn't make all that much sense. Plus, at the same time, we know that when it comes to Garmadon, ever since Season 8 and onward, the fight fuels him and makes him stronger. So shouldn't Garmadon be getting stronger as he continues to fight against Nia and Misako? Again, this just feels really weird and random as to how Garmadon is just weaker during this episode for some reason. Lloyd and Baby Wu then make it up onto the rooftop, where Harumi encounters the two of them. And here's once again another issue that I have with the episode. Lloyd makes an incredibly good point to Harumi. He brings up the fact that with the Oni Titan rampaging, it's gonna create more victims and more people are gonna end up like her. Lloyd's basically saying that when it comes to this moment, innocent people are going to die and it's going to be Harumi's fault. And what is Harumi's response to Lloyd saying that? She says, and I quote, "This is only the beginning." Which, to me, seemingly implies that not only does Harumi think that innocent people are going to die as a result of the attack, but that she probably wants innocent people to die as a result of the attack. And the issue that I have here is this completely goes against what Harumi said she wanted to do during the Season 8 episode Game of Masks. During that episode, Harumi said that she wanted to protect Ninjago, give it the leader it truly deserves, and restore it to glory. Yet, when it comes to this episode, Harumi's responsible for a massive attack on Ninjago City and a ton of innocent people potentially dying. And again, most likely dying considering, the Oni Titan rampaging and what we see of Ninjago City during Season 9 and how destroyed it is. Seriously, Harumi's actions, they completely contradict what she said that she wanted to do in a couple episodes prior to this. So just, what the heck's even going on here? And I brought this up in my Why I Don't Like Harumi video, that Harumi's words and actions, they completely contradict each other. And this is what I'm talking about. Again, Harumi says one thing during the episode Game of Masks, but her actions literally go against that. And it results in the exact opposite thing of what Harumi said that she wants to do. And Harumi is fully aware of the fact that when it comes to all of this bad stuff she's doing, she knows that it's bad and that she's in the wrong and that she's going to result in bad things happening when it comes to her actions and everything. So just, again, what's even going on here? Why have Harumi say that she wants to protect Ninjago and restore to glory if her actions will show literally the exact opposite of that happening? Harumi ends up chasing Lloyd and Baby Wu, and Lloyd is able to get Baby Wu to the rest of the ninja who are on the Destiny's Bounty, but Harumi ends up capturing Lloyd, and she then forces Lloyd to watch what he and everyone else thinks are the death of the 4 original ninja and Sensei Wu by having Lloyd watch the Oni Titan crush Destiny's Bounty. And here's the last issue that I have when it comes to the episode. With Harumi doing this and her forcing Lloyd to watch, again, what he and everyone else thinks are the death of the 4 original ninja and Sensei Wu, this moment right here calls into question Harumi's actions during her death in Season 9. When it comes to this and the previously mentioned moment that I had earlier with Harumi, basically saying that she wants innocent people to die as a result of the attack in Ninjago City, and her literally forcing Lloyd to watch what he and everyone else thinks are the death of the 4 original ninja and Sensei Wu, it makes you wonder, why exactly did Harumi choose to save those 3 people right before she died during Season 9? That moment, it completely goes against Harumi's character, and when you look at her actions all throughout Season 8, but especially during this episode, it really brings that moment into question, and it makes you wonder, why did Harumi do that? Like, Harumi was fully well aware of the fact that when it comes to all the bad stuff she was doing, it was bad and it results in bad things happening. Yet Harumi did it anyway. And like, when it comes to this moment into Harumi forcing Lloyd to watch this, she even straight up says to Lloyd after it happened, and I quote, "This is what I wanted, to see your father return and for you to lose everything." Harumi basically twice straight up admitted that when it comes to all this bad stuff, she wanted all of it to happen. She wanted all these truly terrible and awful things to happen, not just to Lloyd, but to Ninjago in general. It makes you wonder, why did Harumi save those 3 people right before she died? It completely goes against her character, especially when you take a look at her actions during this episode in particular when it comes to Season 8. It just doesn't make any sense. I go over this more in my why Mora's redemption works and why Harumi's redemption doesn't work, so please go check that out if you want more information. However, when it comes to the original 4 ninja, it turns out they didn't actually die, rather Jay ended up opening up the bag of tea, and as it turns out, yeah, there was traveler's tea inside of it, and the ninja were sent to the first realm. Meanwhile, back in Ninjago, Lloyd basically decides that he's not going to go down the same path that Harumi did, and he's going to do something in order to try and change this and try and get Ninjago back to the way it was. Harumi then tries to kill Lloyd again before Lloyd is able to make his escape and start up the resistance. And Garmadon is victorious by the end of the episode, having taken over Ninjago City. And that's where the episode ends. And again, like I said, I think that this is the worst season finale in the show, honestly. There's just so many issues that I have when it comes to the episode. It retcons Ninja's powers for no reason, and this just really brings into question a lot of stuff from Season 5. I really didn't like stuff going on when it came to Mistake during this episode. Garmadon was weaker for practically no reason at all. Harumi's actions completely contradict what she said that she wanted to do during the episode Game of Masks, and Harumi's actions during this episode would really bring into question her saving 3 people during the Season 9 finale. And just, again, it doesn't make any sense as to why Harumi would do that in the first place, considering it completely goes against her character. And so that's pretty much all I got for you guys. So tell me down below, what do you guys think? What are your guys' thoughts on the Season 8 finale? Again, tell me down below, and I hope you guys enjoy. Later, guys, this is Dimension Master Studios, signing off.